For years, I struggled with and suffered from back pain, and it turned out there was something huge I didn't know about the actual cause of my pain. And the reason I'm making this video is because I get so upset when I see that people are struggling with their back pain and they also haven't heard of the main cause of back pain. This was something that the 25 plus doctors that I saw over the years never even mentioned as a possible cause of my pain. And it turned out that this one thing was the key to everything. If you keep watching this video, you will learn the key to most back pain. So first I'm going to tell you my story. I had excruciating back pain for over 10 years. Sometimes it would go away, sometimes it would seem to be connected with some specific physical activity, sometimes it would just show up mysteriously, sometimes it would disappear mysteriously, but it definitely had a huge impact on my life. It was very upsetting and very depressing. So as I mentioned, I went to a lot of different doctors over the years. I went to an osteopath, I had deep tissue massage for a long time, I went to a chiropractor, I had acupuncture, I was told I had sciatica, I was told I had spinal degeneration, I was given lots of exercises to do, and I did everything religiously. I also took medicine for a while. I did everything that they told me to do, and nothing really had a huge impact on my pain. It just kept coming back over and over again. And the one thing that was consistent with my pain is when I felt a little twinge come up in my lower back, I knew I was doomed for the next few days or the next few weeks or even the next few months. It was so bad that sometimes I could not get home from work. Sometimes I couldn't get to work. And then sometimes I would go to work in Manhattan and I would get back to Brooklyn and I would not be able to walk the 4 blocks to even get home. I made some pictures to show you, not because I'm a good artist, just because I wanted you to have something to look at during this to see what my journey was, and I also illustrated everything that I discovered. So here's just a picture of me trying to get home, the 4 blocks that I had to walk from Brooklyn to get home. Okay, so finally, a friend of mine gave me a book and she said, my dad read this book and he cured his back pain just by reading the book. So maybe you've heard of this. This is Dr. John Sarno's book. He wrote this book, he wrote No More Back Pain, he wrote The Mind-Body Connection, and a lot of other books. And as soon as she gave it to me, I thought, I am never going to read this. I know my back pain is not going to be solved by reading a book. I knew my back pain had physical causes. I had seen the MRIs of my back. I knew that my back was in big trouble and there was no way that reading a book was going to help solve anything. The thing that this book suggested when I finally read it, which I found infuriating, was that my back pain was emotional. And I knew there was no way that my back pain could be emotional because it was really, really painful. It was completely debilitating. And so I did not believe that for a second. My back pain was so bad that a few times I was sitting on the couch in great pain and someone even bumped the couch and like a jolt of pain got sent through my body. It was really, really bad pain. So I found it actually pretty offensive and pretty far-fetched that somehow my back pain could be emotional or psychosomatic. So what the book describes is a mind-body syndrome whereby your unconscious emotional issues, often rage, set off a mechanism that causes physical pain. So what's the mechanism? Your nervous system sends a message to specific muscles that decrease blood flow to a specific area. And when blood flow to a specific muscle system is restricted, there's not enough oxygen in that area. And this actually causes excruciating pain. That made sense to me. I thought, okay, this pain is actually real and maybe my mind is restricting blood flow to a specific area. I didn't know why it would do that, but I was interested. This syndrome is called tension myositis syndrome, and it's psychosomatic, which means it's caused by emotions, but there's a physical component that explains it. And something psychosomatic is not going to be cured by anything that is a medical treatment. So psychosomatic basically means that you're having some kind of internal conflict. So what is the internal conflict? For a lot of us, it is repressed anger. Why? Because it is not socially acceptable to be angry. So the body actually creates a diversion to take the attention away from the emotion. So this is what happens. A lot of times we are angry and we not only keep it from other people, we also keep it from ourselves. Repressed emotion means you don't know that you're experiencing this. And it's a lot more socially acceptable to have a backache than it is to have emotions, especially anger. So this is a picture that I was very familiar with. It is just someone pretending that they feel fine, and maybe they even do think they feel fine, but suddenly their back starts to hurt. And that is the big warning sign. So with this whole process, our attention goes from emotion to pain. I'm going to say a lot about repressed anger in another video, so if you're interested, make sure to watch that video that's coming up. So then we're left with the major question: how do I identify what I'm angry about? So you might know what you're angry about, but we're not talking about the things that you know about. We're talking about repressed anger, which means that you don't know about it. There are so many things in our life that we could potentially be repressing our anger about. So we could be repressing our anger about possible responsibilities we have. We could repress our anger about anything we think we shouldn't be angry about, or that we actually feel ashamed to be angry about. There's a lot hidden inside, and what we need to do is get to that anger. And then the next question comes up: how do we process those emotions? So for many of us, it's going to be quite a journey because we've had a lifetime of thinking that we know ourselves really well and that we know how we feel. And for a lot of us, there's quite a bit that we don't know or that we're hiding from ourselves and others. In the next video, I'm going to really show you how to identify these repressed emotions, especially anger, and then how to process the emotions. The strategy I'm going to show you is called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. Maybe you've heard of tapping. This is what helped me get to the root of my anger, and it helped me get rid of my back pain forever.